Hey guys, what's going on? So I was looking at this video of Tucker Carlson on Tucker Carlson of Tucker Carlson. I can't really say his name. I don't know. Anyway, it was he was talking about by the year 2024 that all Oscar movies have to have at least, I think it's 30% of their roles cast by people of color, and 30% of their cast and crew has to have a cognitive or physical disability. And I was just like, this is just bullshit. They're trying to control art. You know, I remember a long time ago then when Seinfeld was popular. I've probably only seen a couple of episodes of Seinfeld. I wasn't a huge Seinfeld fan. I mean, it's not like I didn't like it. I just didn't watch it. But I know like Friends and Seinfeld, and there are a few other shows that were popular. They didn't really have any black people on. And people were complaining, oh, there needs to be more black people on. I remember it was like, it's such a controversy that they had this guy on. They finally cast this guy and had him on for like an episode, but it was so weird. It was so weird. And I think that was one of the episodes I ended up seeing because I want to see the black guy in the episode. And it was just like, it was just weird because he was like the black guy. It's like, as an artist, you create shows, you create things with your friends, but then you're forced to bring out in this outsider because of the color of their skin, and they don't even like mesh with you in any way. It was just really fucking awkward. Anyway, I remember when I was in high school, I got the lead in the School Musical, and before that I got small roles and stuff. It caused a huge controversy because, you know, people who I thought were my friends were, you know, that called themselves liberal and open-minded, all of a sudden, you know, they were basically trying to destroy my life and sabotage me because, you know, a black girl couldn't get the role, and then the vice principal was really racist and didn't like black people, and, you know, he wanted some, he was really racist, didn't like it. There was the teachers were fighting about it. It was insane. Like, I had a guy that would take me, you know, the vice principals would take me, anytime I was by myself, he would take me to the side and tell me what a piece of shit I was when nobody was around, and just like degraded my confidence. And by the time the show came around, I didn't even want to do it because I sucked. You know, I was so stressed out. I was so freaked out. I was so like, just, I don't know. But before, you know, my dad always told me, you know, to go for the lead. Because he was like, well, if you're in a situation and you have a chance to go for the lead part, you should just go for it, because you could get it, or you cannot get it, but you're definitely not going to get it if you just go for a smaller part. So I was like, okay, well, that's a good point, and, you know, I should just do it. So I've always kind of had that mentality. When even in college, I would just go for, like, even if it didn't make sense, I just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just audition for the lead. And sometimes I was successful, and sometimes I wasn't, and that's fine. But in an educational environment, they only have librettos and scripts that they can only do like a limited amount of theatrical and musical works, because they are they have to get like copyright permission, and it takes a certain years after a piece comes off of Broadway or whatever before they can get like the rights to do it at you know, as a play. So, but because of that, there's not a lot of the works that they get. There are not a lot of rules for black people, people of color. For Asians, it's even worse. For Latino people, it's even worse. You know, there's specifically black plays that you can probably do, but they're boring as fuck. They really are. There's not a lot of really good theater for me in my mind that I know about that has a lot of black people in it, and a lot of it's very depressing. Like, I know August Wilson, I know Lorraine Hansberry, I know there are probably some other people that I'm missing just off the top of my head, right? But a lot of their shit is just really depressing. It's, you know, it talks about the black experience, and it's always like racism. And I never was even into doing shit like that. Like, I wanted to do something original. I wanted to have the parts basically that the white people got, because they were more exciting and more interesting and had better arcs, and they weren't just, you know, it wasn't just all depressing all the time. So, you know, I wanted to be a part of that. And so I guess what I'm getting to, there probably would have been a point in time where I would have been okay with what's going on, especially when I was in, you know, I was pursuing acting, because a lot of the roles that were written, you know, like, I never auditioned for so many whores in my life. Like, there's all kinds of whores, like happy hoe, like teenage hoe, like, you know, cracked out hoe, like, you know, aerobics hoe, whatever. Like, just like black women, you know, the parts that are written for black women that are really juicy and that have gravitas are very few and far between. So instead of complaining about it, I got into writing, and I learned how to screenwrite and to playwright, because I knew that was really the only way that I can change things. And this whole thing where they're trying to like make characters black and different colors and change the sexuality, it's fucking bullshit. What people really need to do is learn archetypes. And it sucks because of the education system. I mean, it's a lot of things that's tied to this, because of the education system, because, you know, a lot of black people are illiterate, you know, like in inner cities, right? Like, we're not taught about how to develop archetypes, because all these characters that people really like are just really strongly written archetypes. And if people like of color and other represented races, or, you know, whatever, women and other people really understood this and they learned how to create rules for themselves, it wouldn't be a problem. Because to me, the only way that I see to change the inside of what's going on, you know, with Hollywood and with the amount of rules, is to actually become writers, like have more directors, have more producers, teach people how to write. And I know that there are, which I totally support, there are programs in place to make people of color, to educate people of color, and I'm saying people of color, but like, you know, I guess it's like non-whites, about this stuff, so we can level the playing field. But to me, it's kind of like the same shit as affirmative action. When I see this whole like Oscar movie rules and a lot of this stuff where they're trying to push people to cast somebody, no, you need to be a good fucking actor, you know? I was okay, you know, I think I could say maybe I sucked. I'm better at music, but I wasn't consistent. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't focused. I was just kind of all over the place, you know, and that's fine. I can admit that now because I know where my faults were. I'm not at the point where like, oh, I never made it, I'll never be a star, like whatever. It's like there's a lot of politics involved. It's a lot about, mostly about who you know. Now that this pedophilia shit's coming on, it's probably a lot more about about that too. These different tiers of popularity or success that you have to, you know, walk up in order to become A-list working actors. So, but I look at it, yeah, it's just like the affirmative action thing. I don't agree with it. I agree that, you know, we need better education, but it's not going to, it's not going to help in the sense that we're just going to give somebody charity or lower the standards for black people because they're black, or because whatever handicap they have. It's like, you know, and it's, now it's been proven affirmative action doesn't really work, because they give all these, you know, people chances, and, you know, that come from lower income neighborhoods, but they still don't have the wit to really compete. Some do, some don't. But it's not really leveling the playing field, and a lot of people that get affirmative action status, they drop out because they can't compete. It's really hard for them, right? It's like, it's still putting them at a fair disadvantage. So for me, the whole affirmative action thing is show. And the only way that you can really fix this is by building from the ground up. Like, we need better education systems. We need less indoctrinations. We need more concrete neighborhoods that have that support system to give to people that are educated. That's one thing that I noticed when I worked in Asia, and when I taught in Asia, and when I was a teacher at the Chinese prep school. These people had community. I think that was their biggest asset. They had community. There wasn't violence and shootings, and, you know, these kids weren't on all these SSRI drugs and crazy stuff, you know. So they had, you know, they had solid families, and I think that was really the thing. Because of that, you know, they worked together, and their mentality was different too. It's like they weren't really in competition with each other. When they studied together. They worked with each other to build each other up. So I'm thinking about this education model and how I feel like it should be fixed from the inside. And I'm looking at the same thing with Hollywood. You can't like make people, you know, it's gonna also create a lot of resentment. I'd be pissed. You know, what if I want, you know, you can't make a really good movie about like Irish history and Irish slavery, and, you know, and you're just gonna throw some like Asians in there, some black people. It's gonna be weird, because like, how many, like, back in the day, there weren't like black people and Asian people in Ireland in mass, right? There weren't 30% of people in Ireland that were black, or, you know, it's like, how do you do, like, it's so weird. You're just gonna throw people in the movie just so you can get a Best Picture nomination. I really hope this is a wake-up call for people to realize that The Oscars are shit. They're bullshit. Who needs a fucking Oscar anyway? Like, I'm serious. It's such bullshit. It's so political. It's just a fucking golden statue. That's it. There's so many movies every year that don't get nominated for the Oscars anyway. There's so many wonderful actors and actresses that I followed for years. I think they're phenomenal. And I see them get passed over like every year. And I haven't watched the Oscars in God. Whew, has it been 10 years? Maybe probably a little less than 10 years because I think I watched them a little when I came back. But anyway, I'm just like, it's bullshit. I watch it for the dresses. I watch it for whatever. I just see who's gonna win. But then I just got bored with it. Anyway, so I mean, this whole thing that they're trying to control art and they're trying to tell people what to do. Like that's where I draw the fucking line. Like then next is gonna be like the Grammys. You can't, you have to mention a social cause in your music or you're not going to be able to get a Grammy. Who cares about your Grammy? Stick your fucking Grammy and your Oscars all the way up your ass, like all the way up, all the way, okay? Yeah, I'm just not for it. It's very creepy. And I'll post the little snippet, that segment that Tucker Carlson had on his show when he's talking, I think, with Mark Steyn. And it's like, it's very communist. It's very like, now they're dictating. You gotta create. Creating comes from the heart. Creating comes from your spirit. Creating comes from God. Nobody fucking should have dominion over that. Over telling you what to create and how to create. Like that's some fucking utter bullshit. Like I'm not even fucking around. Like if you are mad that there are not enough people of color, then you fucking create rules for yourself. Don't be a fucking invalid. Why are you asking people? And it's the same thing. These people that you say are so racist, but you're asking them to give you a chance. You're asking them for help. But if you're so mighty and you're so high, then why are you asking for help, right? Why can't you do this? There's this guy, people are probably really shocked. In the 30s, black people have been making movies since white people have been making movies. There's this really famous guy. Maybe I'll find a link and I'll put in the link so you guys check out. He was a director. He's black. His name was Oscar Michaeux, and he made movies like around the same time. So nobody knows because our history, just like every aspect else, has been erased. Right? It's been erased. Like nobody really knows about Oscar Michaeux. I know because I'm a freak, and my dad he was into directing and stuff, and I know because of that. But no, I would never learned it in school. I never heard anything about it, something I had to learn outside of my educational environment. But it's like, I feel like I love people of all races. My family's mixed. I'm not a segregationist, but sometimes I wonder if segregation really did hold us back because it makes us very dependent, or it's made us dependent, and they're lowering the standards for people, and it's keeping us in a very arrested developmental stage, and it's not allowing us to progress, business-wise, creatively. I know there was a Black Wall Street got burned down. Chinese people, Chinatown got burned down, but they didn't fucking ask for handouts. They didn't buy the shit. And now they're like one of the richest classes in America now. So it's not even like, you can't say that there was racism. There were people that were trying to destroy things, but it didn't stop other races or ethnic groups. They just, they dealt with it and they got back up. So, but I feel like black people are just taking these handouts, taking these, and it's just like the government, even when, in Australia, a lot of people on welfare get, they can't refuse vaccination now. You don't get your welfare money if you don't get vaccinated. And it's like anything that people, in my mind, when they offer you free help or they offer you charity, it's gonna be comes with strings attached. So even in this whole controlling of art and best picture Oscar, it's really gonna show who the kiss asses are. It's really gonna show, I believe, if people really care about the Oscars or not. Because if you're a real artist and if you're a real creative, you don't care about that bullshit. It's nice, I guess. It's nice to get an Oscar, to get, I guess your value goes up as a performer, because once you get an Oscar or any kind of award, then you can actually charge more for your performances. So from a business standpoint, it's really effective. But you don't really, who fucking cares? There are lots of movies that won Best Picture that I'm just like, this picture should have won Best Picture, or that actor or that actress should have won. Who gives a fuck? What you basically, it's high school bullshit, okay? It's high school bullshit, because it's like, you're just wanting these popular people to accept your work. And I've talked about this in past videos, but just to make it short, I went to Sundance one year with one of my friends who was in a movie, and it was all her friends. I didn't know anybody, and we all like put our money together and got a suite for like a week, and it was amazing. But my friend, who was a narcissistic sociopath, we're not friends anymore, we had a huge fight, and I ended up not hanging around her. And it was a huge blessing, because I got to see all of these movies from all over the world in different languages, and they were just phenomenal. And they didn't get the recognition because they're not part of the club and they weren't in the clique. And had I hung out with my friend, I probably would have just gone to see all the movies with her friends, with all of the actors and actors that were, you know, like famous in Hollywood. Because as you may or may not know, like there are lots of actors that do money. They do movies to like blockbuster movies for money, but then they do the smaller films that don't pay as much. So, but they use those films. They want to get an Oscar from their or an award or recognition for the acting abilities from those films. So if they get cast in like an independent film and they do good, it like shows their acting ability, and then they get an Oscar, and then they can demand more for the money because they're like an Oscar winner, and it gives them more prestige. So there's a kind of a little bit of a formula going on. But had I hung out with her, I probably would have gone to see all the popular movies, and I just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna see this movie from Spain with this person with Down syndrome. I'm gonna see this movie from Bolivia. I'm gonna see this movie from Africa. And I did. It was amazing. It was phenomenal. The cinematography, the writing, the acting, I mean, it was just like, and I felt kind of stupid, because I guess in my mind, I was like, oh, nobody can make movies better than Hollywood. I apologize. I know it sounds arrogant. And I did watch a lot of foreign film, even in indie film before that, from other countries. But I mean, even these people that didn't have the Hollywood budget, or they've sacrificed a lot just to be creatives, to be artists, to make their film, you know, to raise money, to make all these amazing sacrifices just to have their film made, because they, from the bottom of their deep down soul, they want to make art, they want to be creative, and they make it happen, and they don't fucking need Oscars, they don't need Hollywood, okay? So I really hope that nobody's really watching the Oscars anyway. I just hope that this is the nail in the fucking coffin for the Oscars and all these bitch ass award shows that are political fucking Illuminati awards, you know, Illuminati satanic ceremonies anyway. So yeah, that's my hope, and I think that's what's gonna happen. But I don't even see why anybody would capitulate to that. And even like having a crew that has cognitive and physical disabilities, are they fucking crazy? So you have to have somebody, I mean, when you're a crew, like you're a gaff or you're a light person and stuff, or you're even a cameraman, you have to be in good shape. You have to be very coordinated, because there's a lot of expensive equipment and you don't want to like fall over and break it. You have to be really sharp. You know, these people that are behind the scenes are really intelligent, hardworking, smart people. And there's an art to what they do too. It's not like somebody's just holding the boom or holding a mic or putting up a light. There's science and art that goes into that too. But if you have really bad cognitive abilities, you might not be able to be as good at your job because of that, or physical abilities. Maybe, it depends on the person. I'm not saying that they can't do it. But for 30% of your crew to have that, plus you need to be in communication with people, you know. So if you're not having really good cognitive abilities and you're not understanding instruction, I mean, there's just so much can go wrong. Even people that do have really good cognitive abilities trying to put together a movie, there's just so much information, there's so much miscommunication that goes on without that. But add that into the mix, these people are out of their fucking mind. Death to the Oscars, forever. I don't give a fuck. I want to be an artist. I am an artist. I make music. I do creative stuff. I don't need Oscars. I don't need Hollywood. And I hope that because of this, people really that are in that system, I hope that they really rethink the system, I mean, on so many levels is bad, but I really hope that they rethink what they're a part of and why they're kissing people's ass to be a part of this fake ass, like satanic ass clique that doesn't mean shit. That's putting very harmful, very dark art into the world. Make no mistake about it. All this shit's magic. It's wizardry. This is why we're in the situation we're in now with a lot of these celebrities that are, you know, that people look to as gods, as idols, right? When, you know, the half the nation is brainwashed because of these motherfuckers. So, because they idolize them so much, they can't possibly like do anything wrong. They can't like possibly, right? Like Jay-Z sells crack and drugs to people, and, you know, writes songs about, you know, calling other women bitches and hoes, and Beyonce's twerking but they don't really care. Like on the psychological effect and the physical effect that he has as a drug dealer on people. Like they brag about it and they like romanticize it. It's fucking sick. And these are sick people. And these are people that we look up to. These are people that, that people idolize and worship. And this is the art that's being put out in the world instead of art that's meant to inspire people. I mean, yeah. So yeah, death to the Oscars forever. I think I'm done. I think I was almost done like 3 times, but now I'm really done. Okay, I'm done. Okay, so please, best thing I want you to do, go to truthertalk.com and join my email list. I'm trying to build it up. October 1st is D-Day. I don't even know what, like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but everybody's expecting to just get shut down. So I really want a way to keep in touch with you guys. Please, please, please. It's free, you guys. And I don't spam you because I hate that shit too. But I just want a way to get in touch with you. So please join my email list. Buy stuff from the Truth or Talk store. You can PayPal me. You can P.O. Box me. And please join me on all my other backup channels, BitChute, and all the like. I'll just put all that in the links along with the couple of links that I spoke about. All right, guys. That's it. I will talk to you later. Peace, truth, love. Bye-bye. Mwah.